Hello, welcome to my dashboard. I'm Talib Hussain. I've created this dashboard to analyze the financial institution performance and how they respond to their consumer complaints. For this lab, I'm using mostly most data from my lab 2. I've created this bar chart and this pie chart in my lab 2, and I'm using these charts in this lab. I have included two extra charts on the same data, which is MCA and this scatter plot. The charts I'm reusing it. I was able to put some filtering effects and the brushing effects on it, which I will walk you through it. Thank you. So I'll walk you through with four of my plots. I'll start with one of my main plot, which is my bar chart. As you can see, the bar chart is already pre-filled. Every time you refresh the page, it will automatically pre-fill my bar chart and my bar chart. So in the bar chart, I was able to put the brushing effects, such as when I hover my mouse, it will show any company who got their complaints and how they responded to it. So this helps, and the and the vertical lines help me analyze like where the exact amount, because the exact amount is not there, but it helps to analyze if two companies and how different they are. So as you can see that my scatter plot is changing in conjunction with my bar chart. As I go through it, it shows me like this it shows me their performance. The scatter plot basically working together, it means that the scatter plot has two axes. One axis is a company response, and the y-axis is a customer satisfaction. So if I want to know how the company is responding, I could rather create a new bar graph, or I would just go through with all each of these and see how their performance and like in which time frame they are responding to their to their consumer complaints. So if I'm interested in between Capital One, Citibank, and then one more bank, there's are three banks, and I want to analyze that how their performance, are they closer to each other, because in terms of Capital One, Citibank, and JP Morgan, they are the big financial institution, and I'll see how they are doing. So we can see that with this data, JP Morgan, um their response is somewhere in between, like a quicker response, but their customer satisfaction is not there yet. We can see some mixed up data. So if we go to Citibank, the Citibank is their response is not there yet, because you can see the more dispersed data, but their responses are in between, which means that they are not, and some of their customer satisfaction is also low. When we go to Capital One, it seems like, because it shows few data, because of I'm using only the 2000 points that I've used in my first lab, so that's why. But I cannot really predict anything, but by looking at few of the data, it seems like Capital One is faster in responding to their complaints. But what if I add another chart, such as Bank of America? Whoa, they received so many complaints, but how they responded? Well, they responded good in terms of their most of their data is in high frames, and you can see their customer level satisfaction is also higher. So these two charts that I work with, I use the hover and the mouse. Every time I take it off, it just reset the chart and just gives you the regular data. If you so for this button, if you just don't click anything, this button will give you the uh, the the default values of five charts. um I've already walked you through with this scatter plot. Scatter plot is only working with the bar chart and has nothing else besides showing that how the company is responding. I'll walk you through. I'll walk you through with another with the rest of the plots. So the rest of the plots, as you can see, is which I personally think is giving us the more insight of how where the company stands in responding to their most of the complaints. So the MCA, I've used the Python libraries to calculate this MCA data. So in this data, as you can see that there were four categorical variables: closed with explanation, simple closed, closed with monetary relief, or and closed with non-monetary relief. By looking at the data, we can see that all the big banks or all the big financial institutions, such as JP Morgan, M&T, Bank of America, HSBC, they are somewhere between closed with monetary relief or closed with non-monetary relief. So what we can see from that is just like either they're not really they're not really explaining customer like why this thing happened, or like they're not really addressing anything. As compared to them, Capital One and PayPal or the Wells Fargo. So as you can see that Wells Fargo and Capital One, they are very closer, and the Citibank as well, to have to have their complaints closed, just closed, and non-monetary relief, which means that uh it could be like they are not really worried about their customer service. So we can also kind of make sure, we can also by looking at our data and see that where they stand. So such as Capital One, we have an idea that their customer level is not happy. So in conjunction with MCA, and in this one, we can have an insight of what the customers are experiencing, such as Bank of America. It is really closer. It's not really close, but it's like in between of close with monetary relief and the close with non-monetary relief. But if we see the data from our Bank of America, we can see that they have a higher score of their customer level satisfaction, and they're responding in a very effective time. If you go to JP Morgan, it seems that they also have a higher data. But if you go to Amex, the Amex does not have a much data, but our MCA plots kind of reveals that explain they are closing a lot of their consumer complaints with the explanation. As per their record, they have one of the best credit providers, and they try to keep their customers happy. This is it for my MCA plot. So in my last plot, I will show you my pie chart, which is the identity thefts reported to these financial institution. This chart basically, when you refresh, it will only generate the chart of default values which has been given to it. In my default values, I'm using Florida, Georgia, Maryland, and three others. When you hover over to the pie itself, you can see that it shows you the amount, the number of complaints have been reported in between these six states. So it seems like that Florida is on the top, and we can infer that between Georgia and Maryland is pretty same. But if you would like to analyze between two states or three states, you could just click here and see and see how they were, how what were the difference, or how they were, how many of the complaints have been received. Again, Florida is on top. If I remove Florida from it and see between California and Delaware, so in between Delaware and Connecticut, it seems like Georgia is the one in among these three was the one who got mostly complaints. So this bar chart does only provide you the information of how they were reported. It does not provide to which is reported. It just only calculated the number of identity thefts have been reported to these consumers. In this dashboard, basically, we my whole motivation was to find a pattern uh, related to their consumer services, and it seems like if I work in conjunction in both three charts, such as MCA and complaints received, and and how they are responding, there is a we can easily say that there is some kind of a pattern you can see, such as if I go only for the JP Morgan and I find it. So JP Morgan, as you can see there, they are close, most likely they're monetary relief. And if you look at their customer satisfaction level, um it seems like the customer satisfaction level is not really bad. The way they responded, their customer satisfaction is better that than their other competitors, such as Capital One. Capital One, as I mentioned before, I did not have much data to show, but again, but just looking at the data, it could be a biased way to say it, but it shows that the Capital One did just close their complaints in between either monetary relief or close with explanation. So these are my closing points about my dashboard. So this dashboard, you can see that runs a little bit off due to the SVGs or the nature of the plots. There could be a problem that on other devices it may run a little bit shorter on the right side. So I'm leaving enough space. um, I try to make it responsive, but somehow in the responsive, the plots were not behaving as I supposed to be. So it's more likely the plots are fixed. And the whole motivation behind to find just a pattern, and I think I believe that my plots shows there's a pattern, or we can infer a little bit pattern. Any question or any concern is welcome. Thank you so much. Have a good one.